Welcome back, folks, as we're jumping on in for our second game of the YIA Sunday skirmish between YIA and ROI. All of a sudden, I've moved over to the dark side. Doctor is over on the light side. How does the change feel for you, Doctor?
Not a fan. I wish the sun could make up its mind. Oh, I was about to turn down my exposure, and the sun's just saw it coming and just started dipping. Sun knows what's up.
Oh, that's
Me and Sun
beautiful.
we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's
And
what we like to see.
also, Sun is on the ROI side, Sun Wukong, as we've already got the picks and bans sorted.
I mean, really, you're going to talk about Sun being
Sun
out,
Wukong, good.
and you bring out the
Sun Wukong,
Wukong
good reference.
out
Good
of
reference.
the other characters that's there. Wait, what reference is this? Sun
What do you
Wukong.
mean? What reference is this?
Yeah, what reference is
You've
this?
just lambasted the entirety of China.
Sun Wukong.
Journey to the West.
Journey to the what now?
You not notice that like there's a monkey with an extended stick in literally every single like game or media that like makes its way into China at some point. It's like the
Yeah.
most famous like Chinese like folklore
Oh,
about
okay.
a
And I'm
monkey
supposed to know
prince
it?
called Sun
I just know
Wukong.
like Jackie Chan Jet Li. That's it.
Well, that's like Goku is Wukong.
Oh,
Like
is he?
that Wukong is in he's Goku. He's got Sun Wukong in League, in Smite, in a lot of things, man. Anyone also as well that rides like a little cloud. I guess in some regards what's the guy in Mario Kart, the the turtle in Mario
Mario?
Kart. No, the one that like picks you up when you like fall off
Do-
the edge. You know,
oh, I don't know. I have.
it's like an L or
Oh.
something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what
That
you're
guy.
talking about.
He's probably a Wukong reference because he rides a cloud, right? So like,
Right.
ugh,
Okay.
uneducated man. In
I
any
am very
case,
uneducated.
we got through the draft already because we kind of have to do the draft like 3 times and then get through a spectator delay. Didn't want to be sitting around here for like 10 minutes getting
No.
all that sorted.
Doctor
So,
gets angry if we do that.
yeah, I got this is absolutely fuming, I tell you. But we got through. We got, a couple of target bans out here and there. You see them down the bottom of your screen, but the Nocturne was taken away. Xin Zhao, an insta-lock for ROI, and then YIA just like, all right, Lulu Cog off rip. Just blind pick it. Let's see what happens. Versus a Xin Zhao, mind you, is one of the champions better suited for handling a Cogmore. And ROI said, all right, bet Leona Kale. Not Leona Kale, Leona Samira. And they're like, that's probably a good way of dealing with Lulu Cogmore. Kale being the response there, and Hecarim, Wukong, Syndra, Echo coming on through. Echo having a pretty good time versus Syndra, being the quintessential Syndra counter, and you can only assume that Wukong is going to make Kale's life pretty difficult.
And here's the kind of interesting thing for me, because Wukong and Xin Zhao, we saw being played by Troop and Senko, and now it's switched sides, and this composition
Yeah.
that we are seeing from ROI is an incredibly aggressive one. Every single one of those champions wants to be popping up. Even Leona wants to, be taking every single Zenith blade. I say that as a Leona main with an issue with my third finger that always wants to press E, but it is such an aggressive composition.
Oh yeah, very much so. Sending it on in, and that can be difficult when you're versus the KO, you're versus the Lulu, Hecarim, and Echo to a lesser extent as well. But there's just so much commit, and everyone should be able to, go in on the fight together. But we did see in the previous game that there were times where, Dr. Rot or Jen Lubu would go in with their Silas or with the Nocturne and just be a little bit out of step from everyone else. But Obani did a great job carrying through on LeBlanc in that game, and Syndra sort of fits similar roles in a lot of compositions. That's why the champions were relatively interchangeable, in towards season 10. And you think of that sort of far back to when they were meta, before the invention of what's it called? Verdant Barrier, that's the one. Before that thing came out, Syndra LeBlanc, that was your lot. But Echo is the quintessential Syndra counter, just has complete control over the lane, can outpush her, outtrade her, eat her ult, and spikes, faster, harder. But Samira Leona, that doesn't sound very fun if you're a Cogmore player.
I've just realised as well, we've got a dancing Teemo under us.
Yeah, that guy's been there for a while.
Slightly off-putting. Do you have a Sheldon Cooper over your right shoulder?
Do I still have Sheldon there? Is he still there? Is he still there?
Yeah, he's there.
My days.
It's incredible.
Oh,
But
I'm gonna get sued for that one. That's copyright
think a
infringement
picture
for sure.
I mean, not really. It's just a picture of the actor. There we go. problem sorted.
He's-
However,
he's got a copyright on himself, probably. You'd assume.
who knows?
He should.
It's a lookalike. Um,
It's a professional. Oh, every time I change my exposure, the sun moves. Very cringe.
yeah, I feel that. I mean, it's one of the pleasures of living in the UK, right? It's just like sun, no sun, sun, Wukong. I don't know. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the draft from YIA because we talked about the all-in,
Alrighty.
we talked about the amount of damage, but there are a lot of lifelines for YIA. And no, I'm not talking about Overwatch, or is that Apex? I don't know.
Apex.
It's Apex.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you've got
Apex.
a Lulu there with a Wild Growth. You've got Kale there with her ultimate on top of a Cogmore. And if you try to go on Echo, well, he's got a Chrono Break. So what are you going to do?
No, if you're YIA, the name of the game here is counter engage.
Ooh,
You can
I
try
like
to
that.
engage first, and that can work, but it might be a bit spooky. But if you can live through the initial engage, by buying your time, with the Kale or with the Lulu, and then suddenly you turn it around, you get the Cogmore enabled. Preferably, you don't have to waste any of the Lulu buffs to keep someone alive, and then Echo's going in, Hecarim's going in. You also have a very good dive. It's just that the YIA squad is actually better at dealing with frontline. Whereas ROI, like, okay, we're going to jump in, we're just going to try and blow up around us and do a nondescript amount of damage, and hopefully that will kill Cogmore, and then chunk out the tanks enough that we'll get them later as well. Whereas, Lulu Cog and the Kale as well, that's just melting through anyone that they touch. That's like percent health damage. So YIA have to be very scared about not just getting immediately popped by the ROI squad, but if they live through the initial burst, they can get a counter engage of their own. Hecarim diving in with a Kale ult going on, distracting everyone, Echo looking for a pick on the back, and Lulu Cog being untouched. That's always going to be scary.
I want to see a lot of aggression early on. I don't know if you would agree with this sentiment, Doctor. ROI looking towards the bottom side. They've got
Sure.
Samira,
I like
Leona,
aggression, like a bit of action.
Xin. Can we just say, ignore
Get
the
some
rat top
high-octane
side and
gaming.
just go all down bot because this Syndra can get a lot of map pressure.
Yeah. Well, no, not ignore the top side. I mean, that's a pretty scary lane for the troop right there. Dr. Rat sort of dash on him, especially once he gets his sheen
Okay.
or when he gets the tier 2 boots coming through. That's a terrifying time for troop.
Well, we'll see exactly where ROI do want to, or
We
which
should
lane they
be
want to play
diving
around.
on him relatively soon.
I think we are pretty much ready to head
Not
in.
exactly sure what we're waiting for. Yeah, don't know what we're waiting for here. I'm assuming, Nick, something's going on with your old RTMP. Game has started.
We can hear it.
Nice and ready to get sent off. We're just sorting up a couple of things on our... There it is. Game's nice and ready.
So I think with that, we are ready to head
There we
on
go.
into game. I made some cool sound effects as well. Right, Doctor. Prediction time. Do you think YIA take this game? Or do you think ROI make it a 2-0 win?
I think I'm looking at ROI here. ROI had a strong showing last game, but it was very back and forth between both teams. It's just ROI's comp is a lot easier to get that explosive snowball going, and whilst I think the YIA is still very strong, both in comp and in players, I just think the ease of execution is going to go over in favour ROI here.
Alright. Well, they have a lot of engaged tools looking at the Leona. You've got the Syndra as well with the Scatter of the Week. We already saw the damage that a Wukong can do in the previous game, actually, at the hands of the troop. And now Dr. Rat wants a little bit of revenge as Benimaru steps up and drops down a very aggressive ward, considering that he didn't have any vision on where the members of YIA were.
No, just stepping up and flexing a little bit could have been a bit dangerous there, but he gets away with it.
Well, for now, it does look like both parties will be starting on the bottom side of the map. It's actually an early sweepers picked up by Benimaru, which is usually actually what we tend to see from the jungler, but Benimaru opting to take the sweeper early over his own.
Grab that for a bit of lane control, very important, especially when you're playing the melees versus ranged. If they're able to get vision in the bush and they can force you out, you're never going to get the trades you want, never going to get the engages that you need. So Benimaru once again swapping out for an early sweeper.
just going to see some light trading for now. Nothing too aggressive. This bottom lane, you're really waiting for that level 2 to come through as Benimaru loses about half their health while trying to get that early ward.
Not where you want to be, but that is how it ends up going when you're playing that melee versus range support matchup. Benimaru already forced to use a potion. Not waiting for the biscuits or anything, and they do need to step up a bit, try and contest these waves, especially when they have such a strong level 2 spike. It looks like they're not, you know, trying to use, not going to pressure at all, because you can't
The
let
blade comes in, that's the engage, the ignite.
Fights.
Exhaust comes through, no ignite, or the ignite does follow up on top. Xander low, auto flash forward, and that will be the kill going over onto Tired. Benimaru goes in, able to pick up the kill in the end, and it is a double kill for the true carry in the bottom lane.
Phylong, just walk away. Just walk away, you're chilling. But Xander and Benimaru, they have the right idea, but they need to be forcing that, you know, at level 2 when they have the advantage, or if they can bait, you know, the active coming out the Bio Arcane Barrage, or, you know, the Whimsy, something entire TVH. Instead, they force the fight, you know, into the long cooldowns of Phylong and Tired, and that means that Phylong and Tired can still win that one out. And they get the double onto the Lulu, which is actually more important than getting it onto the Cog early on, as it just allows the Lulu to... She's basically doing more with the gold, and will be enabling the Cog. As long as Cog still hits that first item at a good point, when we're buying just small things or just components, it's usually a lot better for the support, as, you know, tier 2 boots already coming up for Tired. Really going to help out in the lane, and maybe even get some early roams as well, as Benimaru just takes it right back.
Blade, and where is Phylong going to go? The Lulu just has to walk away, but the Cathian surprise. Oh, the dash away with the Wild Rush. Another potential turn on Tired, but the... Well, so much damage.
Just walk away again!
And Hecarim joins in. Pulls Benimaru away from his tower. Benimaru desperately trying to get to safety. Drops the stun on the tower. That might be enough. One more tower shot. Senko will fall even through the shield from the Lulu.
What is that? Okay, Xander couldn't have walked away. He was trying to get the, what you call it, the Conqueror stacks going. I understand that part. But Senko did not need to be underneath the enemy tower there. Like,
he wanted
that's
the kill.
A bit of a stretch.
He wanted to kill, and he forgot that Leona just stuns him.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough one. And that wave, you know, crashes on in, so Xander just picks up, not all of it, but a fair amount. Gets himself a little bit of XP as well. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, you can see that the mana coming up a bit short for Obani, but the Kali will carry has actually been pushed on in and isn't really getting the early advantage that you want to see out of that Echo. But surely once he gets to Tech Stack Alternator and starts getting to the stage where he can one-bang the wave with just one Q at around about level 7 or level 9, I think that happens, he'll be in a pretty happy spot.
Doctor.
Yeah?
Lulu's 4-0.
Neat.
Ah, insert manic laugh. My voice is too dead to do a manic laugh. Thank you very much for that one.
Champion. Already got 35 haste at this point.
Ooh!
That was a lot. There's Dr. Rat taking a lot of damage there. Trading into the wave, not...
Oh, Troop wants this
not
one.
The brace like
it's
this.
the wrong
Troop's
thing.
looking for
Troop
level
almost
6.
dies. Flash away now. Our focus is on to Senko. Senko, they're going to be able to pick up the kill nonetheless. I think the Blasco now in and out procedure for Senko.
That is so keen. Let's wait 2 seconds for Gen Lubu to turn off. I have to go in on that low health.
Oh, watch the Hex Flash coming in, looking for Phylong. To be honest, I think Benimaru is going to be glad he didn't land that Sentinel Blade, otherwise it might have just been missed out.
Yeah, a bit of a spooky one, but once again, say it, Obani has gained control of mid, and that does mean they're getting control of the spot side river as well. Maybe there's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle regarding this bot crab, and Senko looking pretty strong. He's got himself the Sheen already alongside the tier 2 boots. So if he wants to go down and contest that 1v1.
Oh, that one is under tower. Benimaru has to be careful. The focus is turned over on the Tired. There's now Phylong. Found some damage. Focus reasserted. Genlubu making his way down, and now they got to turn things around, but Genlubu not on the same page, slowly making his way down. Senku is here, there's a teleport coming through from both sides. Benimaru surely going to fall. He wants to go back in onto Phylon, but won't be able to get there. Dr. Rat now looking to go in, will be able to find Cyclone onto Tide, picks up the shutdown. 700 bonus gold going over to the Wukong, another teleport in, and all of a sudden ROI turning this one back in their favor.
Picking everything up, but has to be said, very nice cleanse from Phylon there. Rush Fame perfect, getting rid of the exhaust, gets himself out alive. It's just the double TP is a little bit too much, and ROI pick themselves up a couple of kills there, get a bit of gold onto Dr. Rat, who you can see now is making his way in towards that Divine Thunder. Got himself the Sheen alongside the Phage. Kind of needs for tier 2 boots at some point to be able to actually trade with the Kayle, but once he's got those, he'll be able to use the advantage. He just got to try and roll this lane, and the Ocean Drake being secured as well early on. Definitely the best dragon to have just one of in the early game.
Good stuff from ROI. And, you know, if we were in a situation where those 4 kills from Fired were on Phylon, if you were an ROI fan, you'd be wincing right now. But they're on a Lulu, so right now you're kind of happy.
Alright, I mean, Fired is getting close to finishing up his mythic, right? Like, that one's coming sooner rather than later.
Extra healing and the Moonstone. Oh, Benimaru flashed with a Zenith Blade. He's making food.
Again, we just keep engaging, just keep jumping on into Phylon, but they're not taking out Tired. They're not getting the buku bucks from the shutdown that he doesn't quite have, but, you know, Phylon's still worth less than 300 gold right now, having died 3 times already. Now we have to wonder just a little bit what the plan is here for this bot lane. We've got the gold on Tired. See, has he finished up the item? Because we've got Senko in the area as well.
Senko making his way down. Watch for the knockback. He pulls in the Samira. Samira with the Blade Whirl onto our Shadows, and that will be the Leona ultimate. The Solar Flare not doing too much. And Cogmore is here, picks up a double kill. His first 2 of the game. And Senko drops down that Mastery 6 icon just for some added effect.
And now the kills go over to Phylon, picks himself up 2 of those, and immediately gets a bounty placed on his head for troubles. But what's this going on? Genlubu going ahead and trying up this Herald, but Akali will carry. Is going to spot him out, and that might be enough to dissuade Zinzao here. But you got Dr. Rat coming down as well.
Heckman making his way up, so is Obani. Everyone having their level 6s available, with the exception of Senko. He uses Onslaught Shadows down on the bottom side of the map. And maybe for that reason, YIA decides to back away. Now, while YIA have more kills, ROI have kind of had control over the objectives.
Yeah, looking pretty good right now. 2 for 2 on the clock. And with 2.5 minutes until that Infernal, they should be relatively comfortable. So Bunny lands a nice little bit of a trade there. But he's running the old phase rush, so not going to get the little bit of extra electrocute damage at the end there. As Kali will carry still not being able to take control of the lane yet. You see that Obani just sort of, even in the hard losing matchup, outskilling just a little bit.
Dr. to go in, and now will follow. Oh, but Genlubu is here as well. And Genlubu raises Senko's gank by 1.
Yeah, a little bit more gold and slow down the snowball of troop there. Had a pretty good time, and now move on to the tower as well. Oh, Barney just putting out DPS on mid. What's going on top? They're dropping the Herald. How many plates are we going to get? Just take out 1 plate. They're going to get the second one before deploying the Herald, or is Genlubu going to hold on to that one? Of course, once they take that tower, Troop just gets to perma-freeze the lane for the rest of his life. So not actually dropping the Herald, not the worst idea in the world.
And Obani probably could have got the kill on Akali will carry mid as well, but just didn't quite have the mana for the Unleashed tower. So far, though, it's going well for the side of ROI. Sure, they're not too far ahead. Benimaru could potentially look to go in. Besides against it.
No, he's thinking about it. Besides against it is a strong term. He's a Leona player. He knows what he's about. They clear out that ward. He's just
Always
going to hex
going.
flash in at the earliest convenience, which is why you see both junglers make their way down bot.
We're having a party down bot side, and Akali will carry a little bit upset. He wasn't invited, so he's going to join. But apparently, the alerts have been sounded that he is coming down. And well, ROI aren't really too happy with that one. They said, we didn't send you an invite. Why are you RSVPing? Sorry, that was terrible.
No comment.
Yeah.
I refuse to humor such a...
Doctor's just going to ignore me now for the rest of the task, which means I get to solo cast. And my voice is not too
Puggies.
happy with that. God.
I have
Okay,
to find
well,
a way to
it's-
work it in every time.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can call ourselves even now after that one, right?
I gotta get my daily puggies in.
Daily Poggy.
So
Chen
you
Luby's
want to
just
start
standing
with
on the wall.
Senko?
Can we get a
Is-
zoom in on that wall,
Senko's
please?
lurking. He's underwater and Senko's lurking around the other side as
Comes
well.
through when he comes
Flare.
lightning. Then it's played, and that's going to be the onslaught of shadows in, and now Phylon can surely just dish out the damage, but first the focus is just going to be onto the Hecarim. He will eventually die. Now it will be a 2v2. The Zenith Blade at max range will connect onto Phylon. He flashes away, but the follow comes in from Chen Lubu. He gets a knock-up. When he comes lightning, picks up another. And it is 2 kills for 1 in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Dr. Rat able to pick up the kill onto Truth.
And again, Wubu about to drop that Herald on bot as well. Even more gold going on over.
Give it
And
to the support.
no, he'll get it as well for being nearby. You see, he actually got full solo gold for that. But I think he doesn't get gold for this tower. I'm not sure if he got the gold for that.
Ooh, that was close mid. As, well, I guess Obani's just not that strong yet. He doesn't have his first item completed, which I guess would explain why he didn't get the kill and the electrocute, as you mentioned.
Did not quite able to pick that one up, but we have solo burst in top lane. We have good action on bot. I've got to mention Senko. Senko does my personal pet peeve every time I see Hecarim players. Not so much since he got his little changes, but people will go in. They'll use Hecarim W when they're on full health. That's exactly what Senko does, and by the time the Hecarim W ends, he's still on full health. And the Spirit of Dread has a healing ability, not doing a lot of damage. And what do you know? He gets melted in the middle of 3 people. This time round, he does it again, but it doesn't really matter this time. He's probably still going to get the kill.
Flash away, Obani. Watch for the scatter
Oh.
of the week. Just out of range.
Ah, there is no shot. That is a tanky Hecarim. Obani's got damage, but not quite that much. Although the Luden's being finished up. Could have something to say about it. However, after that tower got taken down on the bot side, you see that it's... Ooh, funny, this is...
Group is taken down pretty
Danger.
low. Has to be
Ooh.
careful. Solar Flare's going to collapse. Divine Judgment has been used, but Benimaru can just wait for a second. Flashes forward, and the Shield of Daybreaker locks Senko in place. Truth is forced to run for the LD. He's not going to be able to get anything. Gets a little bit of healing, I think, from a level up. And that will be the top outer that will fall the second outer tower of the game.
Good Lord, Benimaru is looking a lot more comfortable on this Leona than the Lulu of last game. Getting the fadeaways there. And you see, not overcommitting to try and take down Troop. He knows the Troop's just going to use the ult. He knows he's trading ults. That's fine. So he's not diving on in trying to last hit that. And really good window to get himself back onto the Hecarim as Lubu just guns down Phylon. Carly.
No way out against the Echo. He's able to phase dive forward. Meanwhile, Xander mid will be able to secure the final outer tower and actually denies that entire wave of minions as well in the process.
Well, see who's being denied what.
Oh, I meant the
Tired
previous
TPH
wave.
not going to snipe away any of these. Oh, the wave before. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Poggies in that case, you know. What's the gold going away
You've
from
exceeded your
Akali
limit.
will carry. I'll pog as hard as I like. Damn it. I saw some friends for the first time. Well, not for the first time. It's only been a couple of weeks, but I saw them yesterday.
Okay.
And I was talking to them, and one of them was just like, "Yeah, I can tell that you've been spending too much time at home on Twitch.
Right.
Dropped one too many sages
I
in
use
an
Pog
in-person
a fair bit
conversation."
IRL.
Yeah, it starts off ironic and then it isn't. You know,
It's
the same with, like,
production said
everything,
so do I.
every saying I've ever had in my life.
Production just
Yeah,
said
man.
so do
Say,
I.
bruv, I used to do the same thing. I started saying like "mandem" as like a joke when I was like 14,
Wait,
and then I
mandem?
just like found myself just like saying it for like a few months. I was like, I need to I'm from Somerset. I'm 14. why am I saying this? Like, it happens all the time.
Coming just
Like,
stomps
hang about.
everything. Troop, oh, the fancy footwork comes in.
Oh, the
flashes
movement!
out of the engage, but the onslaught of shadows comes in. Zenith Blade engage onto Phylong. Obani stays alive for just about long enough for ROI to turn up, and ROI will clean house. Senko goes in onto Xander, but the exhaust will deny the damage, and it is a triple kill for the ROI ADC.
Oh, and that's the Samira special. Good footwork from Troop there to, live, albeit temporarily, but even with Obani going down, the rest of the ROI squad are there to clean up the fight. Akali will carry, securing this tower over on the bot side of the map, but the Herald still going on over to ROI. They can grab that, go ahead and recall, spend all the gold that they just raked in for themselves. We'll see what items, Xander and Gianluca want to pick up and make their way on over to that Drake spawning up in just about 1 minute. We got 1400 gold, 800, excellent. Let's see what everyone's going to actually buy. That's probably going to be, just going straight in towards that collector for Xander. Not looking to be too worried about Senko or Kali Wakari. You see, they're not even really building that much armor. We're just trying to one-bang these squishies ASAP.
And right now, if you're an ROI fan, you're in a pretty happy place. You're 3k gold up, and you've got a fair bit of gold on Dr. Rat. Xander looking pretty strong as well. But YIA are in a similar situation to what ROI were in the previous game, where they have this Kog'Maw, they have this KL, they have huge scaling threats.
Yeah, they're in a pretty spooky situation. I mean, I think both sides have enough scaling, right? The Samira are not known for her scaling capabilities, but you pair that up with the Syndra and the current sort of iteration of Zen Zhao, and you've got enough people that are doing okay when we get to the late stages versus the Kale and the Kog'Maw. Obviously very terrifying in their own right, but you take just one of them out, you insta-burst them, and they haven't really got a chance to do what they want in the fight. So this is not like a... if we're looking at like Renekton, Kalista,
Oh, then it's Blade, we've got an engage coming through. Divine Judgment will deny the Unleashed power damage.
Ooh.
Just able to
Nice
walk
timing.
out at the end of it.
Nice timing on that one for sure for Troop. So yeah, literally just walk away. 1 ult for 2. That's a good trade in anyone's books, but the Drake was still taken by Ganlubu. At the same time, the Herald being deployed by Xander. Go ahead, take down this tier 2 tower. Maybe even look just to move on towards the inhibitors. Dr. Rat doesn't quite have to teleport up yet, but he is making his way on over towards the fight.
Yeah, in he goes. Darkblade doing a fair bit of damage. Dr. Rat joining in, and this is just going to be a clean up for ROI. Phylong is here, but he's just not going to do so much. Look how much damage from the Force of Will. Dr. Rat goes in, and it is a double kill for the Samira. Now they can look for the Echo. Out comes the Chrono Break, and it is pretty huge. Inferno Trigger almost pulls it back, but it is a shutdown for the Echo onto Xander Samira.
Yeah, Xander, unfortunately, the one tanking up the tower there isn't able to get the turbo pop-off is that you might be expected to find underneath, inside the enemy base as a Samira. But still, they get 2 towers. They get the inhib tower, namely opening up the inhibitor, and now expertly cleaning out the enemy jungle as well. And this is sort of what we were saying in the draft about the teams, that you can see the way that fight was attempted by YIA. You can see what they wanted, the Hecarim going on in, but at the end of the day, the ease of execution and the early snowball capability is just all there for ROI as they really start to take over the game just 20 minutes in.
19 kills, 14, a 4k goal lead. Baron is up on the card. You start thinking for YIA, how can they come back in? They don't have any, really clear engage lockdown potentials. All they have is that huge onslaught of shadows, but if the rest of the team aren't really strong enough to follow up, it makes it much harder for them really to find a pick through it.
Yeah, it's a hard day. You can try. You can make a couple of picks here and there, but who are you really looking for, right? Like, it's like kind of like a bit of a Hydra situation, right? Cut off one head, take one down. There's still, 2 or 3 more threats. See the Baron.
More and more heads keep on springing out.
Just nothing but heads all the way down. I mean, that is what you see on the champion portrait. That's what you see on the champion portraits when you look over at the side, right? It's just head.
But in goes The Wukong, he gets the knock up. Xander goes in for the cleanup. Filong will falls and becomes lightning, gets the slow onto True. And that is a huge present guard. The Echo forced to flash out. Benemaru won't even look for more because it is a 4-member strong of ROI. Dr. Rat with a crazy good engage will sadly be dead. It's ROI. No, they won't end it here. They don't quite have the minion wave. As ROI drop a few question mark pings on their minions, who are clearly hinting by not being ready for the game. And because quite literally, Doctor, if the minions were there, that would have been game.
That would have been all she wrote for sure, but instead they're forced to make their way on over to the Baron and give, YIA a little bit of a chance to breathe here. And a second opportunity for them. Not going to be able to steal out this Baron, you have to assume, but Senko is making a rapid pace over towards the objective. But with no way to get over the wall, there's no way for a steal. So if you're YIA here, it's like, okay, maybe we can get like a second item on Pogwall. Maybe we can get like a good flank from Akali will carry. It's not over, but it's not looking great either.
We can kind of see the current situation. They just have no map pressure. They don't really have access to their jungle. Troop steps up to try to take Krugs, and Dr. Rat is there. No Krugs for you, Troop.
They got half of them. Got the,
yeah, you got some. Fucking more than half.
Got the initial spawns.
We've got a Drake up in 50 seconds time. That will be Cloud Soul for the side of ROI.
Drake kind of a good thing right now for YIA, because it's just going to distract ROI from ending the game. They'll waste their Baron maybe for 40 seconds. Like, unironically,
yeah. It's not even a good
Drake is buying them
ROI.
40 seconds of Baron. Yeah. I mean, it's nice, but obviously getting that move
every
speed
soul is nice, right?
onto the Leona, onto the... Yeah, but, it's nice for Leona, Samira, Wukong, and Syndra. All really like it. I mean, even Syndra like move speed part, right? So, they're okay with it.
Not sure about just casually.
But actually, it looks like they're not.
Oh.
Yeah.
We talk about who's getting distracted by what, so...
Not quite as casual as previously anticipated.
He was just chilling.
Looks like Janlubu, though, is sticking to the Drake.
To chill. And then, next thing he knows, there's a horseman after you kill him. Like, I guess horse meets monkey, right? New version of rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, where does gun fit into this tier list?
That's
a throwback.
Gun, Samira.
To an earlier game.
What, rock, paper, scissors, gun?
She does kind of beat Senko. Yeah, we were talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
We went on the whole Big Bang Theory tangent.
Yeah, well, the reason why I actually brought the Big Bang Theory up was because I was going to go with the Big Bang Theory, which was rock, paper, scissors, Spot, lizard, or lizard spot, yeah. But since you said you don't really watch it, I thought you wouldn't get the reference.
I'm familiar with the reference. I've heard it enough times. It's like,
I'll make sure
it's one of those things because like people are like, oh, if you know, you know. It's like, well, everyone knows, even if you've never seen it. Like people have been saying that one for quite some time. However, Dr. Rat, he's got his teleport, he's got his cyclone, he's ready to come join in this fight. All we need now is
the engage coming through, and Troop
just
is absolutely blown up. No ultimate available for the KL, and that's huge. Janlubu's just waiting for the rest of the team to show up. Dr. Rat, he doesn't care. Never mind, he's eventually going to teleport in. He's teleporting in mid. He wants to set up that mid wave to come crashing in. A 5v4 scenario for ROI, and Dr. ROI will be wanting to end it right here.
If they can find it, good damage coming out from the cog, but
Cyclone in, Onslaught of Shadows surely not going to be enough as ROI will just clean house the Inferno trigger in. It's only the poor little Lulu, but she ain't blue today. Or pardon me, she ain't purple today. She's blue. Zin runs it down. He's had enough. Secret Agent objective done. And the Nexus will be done as well. ROI are through. YIA are out. ROI are your Sunday Skirmish Wanyu champions.
Picking up the clean 2-0 scoreline on the day. The first game very much back and forth, a little bit here, a little bit there, but you have to say this second one, a lot more of a stomp from ROI. We said it before, but Benemaru looking a lot more comfortable on that Leona. Absolutely crushing it there. Just taking those engages left, right, and center and really, really punishing YIA for that early Lulu cog pickup.
It's just well played by ROI. They've looked good in both games. Game 1, they had the weak early game, but what a performance from their mid laner.
Mm.
Absolutely huge. And game 2, sure, mid laner didn't really pop off, but it was just a whole standout performance, really, from the team.
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, I mean, actually, let's shout out, Obani, the namesake of the team, Rati
Yeah.
Obani Utes, as he was doing all right. He was, absolutely popping off in game 1, being the carrying the staple they needed. And even in game 2,
True.
he's not like a 1v9 machine, but he was winning a very difficult matchup. So you've got to go ahead and give him some credit for that one as well. But in any case, Rati Obani Utes come up with the dub here on the Sunday skirmish. Pick themselves up this league win, 2-0 in the finals. Now, that's going to be it from us here today. But on Wednesday, we're going to have some more League of Legends 1v1s in your stores. You can make your way on down to. And on Sunday, we'll be back with the Valorant as per usual. So there's plenty of YIA action spanned out across the week. Make your way on over to your local stores to get involved if you feel so inclined. But other than that, that's going to be it from me. Dr. Milky, you got anything to add?
Be there or be square.